Thanks, Cy. I hope you get fully awake this morning. Cy and I are total different places this morning. I'm fully awake. The first time all week that I've been awake. My buddy Dave has gone back to Canada, which means I can actually get some rest. I don't know why you're so tired this morning, Cy. Anyhow, today is story time. It comes from the wedding feast in Cana, where Jesus turns water into wine. So the story is the story that Jesus and his disciples, along. Can I try that again, Cy? Okay. The basis of this story, I thought I was fully awake, is that Jesus and his disciples, along with his mom and presumably members of his family, were invited to a wedding. At some point, the wine runs out. Jesus' mother Mary hears about it and asks her son to do something. Jesus is reluctant at first, but Mary tells the staff to do whatever Jesus asks him to do. Everyone's got a mom, even Jesus. So then Jesus now takes charge and asks the staff to dump the water out of the 6 jars. Okay, remember that 6 jars where the people came in and washed their hands in them, their dirty hands in them, and filled them to the brim with new water. The staff bring a sample of the liquid to the main wedding manager to taste it, and lo and behold, it is wine. The manager, as he tastes it, says that most people serve the good wine first. Then, when people drink enough and no longer can taste good from bad, they bring out the bad wine. Then the manager responds, "But you have kept the best to last." Now, there's a few amazing things going on here. The first is the actual miracle of turning water into wine. The second is the amount. The Bible uses precise measurements. I actually spent 20 minutes last night doing the math on this while my wife is laughing at me. But converted to the measurements we use today, it converts into 630 liters. Now, okay, hold on here. If you pour that into regular wine bottles, 750 mils, it converts into 840 bottles of wine. 840 bottles. That's a lot of wine, right? If you were to take those bottles, okay, and put them on the ground and lay them down, sort of, bottom to top, and place them down High Street in Fort William, starting from the entrance of the library, 840 bottles would take you all the way to Cameron Square. And if you're listening in online and you have no idea what I'm talking about, maybe you're from Jamaica, that's 252 meters. Now, I had a bit of a disagreement with my wife. Not a big surprise there, right, Masai? And the disagreement was just it's these wines weren't the. I'm saying this on radio. In the story, the wine wasn't just the discounted ones I buy. It's good wine, the best. So for me, a good bottle of wine is about 10 pounds. And Tricia said, no way. Good wine starts at 20 pounds. So I split the difference. So 840 bottles of goodish wine would cost 12,600 pounds. That's a lot of money for wine, especially when most of the people drinking it probably didn't even realize the upgrade because they already were really wined up, if you know what I mean. There's a couple of other interesting facts about this first miracle of Jesus. It says at the end of the story that the disciples, as a result of the miracle, were fully behind Jesus. You think? The other thing was that Jesus left this wedding in Cana, where people drank copious amounts of wine, and walked to the temple in Jerusalem, the most holy place in all Israel, and saw people turning the place of prayer into a marketplace, buying and selling and doing all kinds of business. And he was furious. He turned that holy place into chaos. He flipped over tables and threw people out. The religious leaders came up and protested and asked him, "What are you doing?" And he says, "You have turned my father's place of prayer into a store." Do you get the irony here? Those people in the wedding who really drank a little too much wine that day, celebrating a couple during the happiest day of their lives as the two became one, were blessed by Jesus as he started his first miracle there. And the highest religious leaders in Israel who commercialized and turned worship into a farce were severely criticized. They actually, in a way, created an anti miracle. They successfully turned wine into dirty water. Here's a thought of the day, because a lot of times we think Jesus' place and allegiance is behind church walls where holy people meet. And that really is unbalanced. He is with you and ready to bless you anywhere, irregardless of where you are or what you're doing. He can see past that. He can do a miracle and show up right now into your life. Thanks for listening, and keep looking up.